I can't even tell you how many times Marco has chewed on that Christmas tree. He's coming back into the living room right now for another chewing session. I don't even know why I bought it, because he's just gonna chew on it. Aren't you? Oh, you're leaving now that you've been called out. Yeah, right, yeah, what's at the front door? Yeah, right, you don't want the Christmas tree. Look what he did to those blinds. Ugh, look at that recycling I've been not taking out. What are you doing, buddy? Trolling that tree? I see what you're doing. I'm watching you, buddy. Hey, I'm watching you. Anyway, it is day, I don't know, day 13 of the month, and not my 13th Vlogmas. As promised, I missed a few days, and, I don't know, people usually apologize. I just don't care. I just had my second therapy session today, and we were talking a lot about reasons why I did not film the last couple of days. No, I did not talk about Vlogmas with my therapist. We talked about some things that probably correlate with like where I went this weekend, or what happened, or why I kind of felt like doing that YouTube thing where I'm fixing my hair. This is not a mirror, it's a camera. It's a black mirror. So what do I want to tell you that I don't feel like telling you? I think what I want to tell you is just this, is just that I think that after my first week of therapy, I basically experienced similar things that I've experienced in grief. What I experienced most prominently when it comes to grief is not necessarily being depressed and crying. I run for comforts, and I go to the obvious things that are gonna feel good. And so for example, I just ate so much fucking junk food. I had like chicken waffles, and Chinese food, and pizza. I mean, I don't think I had a single vegetable this weekend. I just went to town. You know, I drank this weekend, and I like never drink anymore. And I, you know, started in the morning on Saturday. I went to brunch. Like, I didn't like just sit at home with a bottle of wine, but like went to brunch, and I was like, sure, I'll have a mimosa. Sure, let's make them unlimited. Sure, keep that glass full. And all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, it's like I'm 25 again. And so it's just like different things that kind of like I didn't even see coming that kind of came up, I think, in response to starting to like deal with my stuff. I think that grief, you know, there's no such thing as like how to grieve. There's no like appropriate way or like correct way to grieve. Like grief is a weird thing. And so I know that this was weird too. And it was just kind of like a strange response where all of a sudden I was like, nope, I don't want to feel anything. Like, let's get drunk, let's get high, let's, you know, like what else feels good that we can go do, you know? What didn't feel good was like being accountable to like doing a Vlogmas video, and what didn't feel good was like going to yoga or like journaling or all the other things that I know need to be a part of my life and my daily routine to like maintain how I want to feel. And as a result, like on Sunday, for example, because I was drinking on Saturday in the morning, and then I like, you know, went out and met up with somebody, you know, for drinks in the afternoon, and, you know, had like 4 more drinks, and it was like, I never drink like this anymore. And I wasn't terribly hungover, luckily, but I was like very much feeling depressed and anxious on Sunday, more so than the usual. And it was just this reminder, as I talked about in a recent video, that alcohol really doesn't do any good. It does not help you. And yeah, there were moments on Saturday where I was drunk and I was like feeling my fucking oats, and I was just like, there was no such thing as anxiety. And what's funny is that I tapped into this thing about being drunk that I forgot, is that when you drink all the time, it kind of makes you care less about stuff that you should be caring about. And in a way that's different from smoking pot. It's not that like lack of motivation that smoking a lot of pot gives you. It's like, it's just this carelessness, this recklessness, this like, who cares? None of it matters. I'm just gonna have fun. Like, let's just do this. Like you start acting like this is like the last night on earth. You start acting like you don't got a bank account. You start acting like you don't have a tomorrow morning. And I remember that feeling from my 20s when I had a bit more of a drinking problem, and it's such a falsely invincible feeling. And I don't know, it felt good in the moment, and then I was like, yeah, I don't like this. Sure, it felt good, but like, A, it doesn't feel so good afterwards, and 2, I just know how not real any of that is. And I'm just not in the business of not real these days. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just looking to keep it real, whatever that means. So anyway, that's kind of what happened. But on the plus side, you know, therapy again today was really powerful. Talked about some really interesting things. We talked about some things from this weekend. We started talking about today we are gonna start doing this. I'm gonna show you, oh, look at that recycling. I don't know why I'm showing you that. And there's my view, and there's a chair that Marco sits on, and he sits in that window. And, you know, so there you go. It's not just me talking. I give you a house tour. There's my coffee I still haven't thrown out from this morning. We're all human. But we started talking about this thing called EMDR, which is eye movement desensitization response, something like that. Probably could have Googled that before filming this, but like, come on. But anyway, we talked about that as something to consider doing as a sort of modality. Well, hello there. Do you want to say hi to everybody? Oh, hello. Hi. Talk about therapy. There's this little cat here. You're therapying over yourself. Oh. I have to go pet sitting again tonight, so of course he's gonna come sit with me, and I have to leave in a few minutes. But it's like almost 4:30, but I always have to leave so early because it just gets so dark here. I guess everywhere now, right? Anyway, EMDR. We started talking about that as something we're gonna try. We kind of gotta like prepare for it, talk about it, build up to it. But it's something I've never tried before. It's I can't really speak. I just really learned about it today, but it's similar, I would say, to something like tapping, and similar even in some ways to what ayahuasca was to me. And she actually said that's what really made her think of it, was some of my experiences doing ayahuasca. EMDR kind of recognizes the machine of the body, you know what I mean? And the idea is basically that there are certain like emotions and things that can get stored and get stuck. And then other things, like if you've had some kind of trauma, for example, like that gets stuck in your, you know, just in you. And then other things that might be reminiscent of that might get sort of connected to that. Like things kind of get like bundled together. And so what EMDR does, it's like this whole process of really helping work all those emotions out and process all that stuff and sort of detangle those connections, you know? And I'm so on board for that. I'm so excited. I told her, I was like, so comforting to think of this as like, we're gonna like do this process as it isn't dependent on like what kind of work I do in talk therapy, which is really powerful. And I again, I'm continuing to see the effects of it in my life, but like, I know that there is an element of this that's reminiscent of ayahuasca in that it's like, I need to surrender to a process. You know, I need to surrender to a process. And I think that EMDR could be a really powerful process to surrender to. So that'll be in a few weeks, you know, that'll be long after Vlogmas is over, but I'll probably do a video about it. So yeah, so that's it. That's what's going on with me. That's the story. I'm gonna leave soon to go pet sitting. This little goober is gonna stay here and watch the house, aren't you? Aren't you? What's that dumb look on your face? What is that? Why do you look like that? You look so like, you look like a person. Hi. Oh, I'm obsessed with this cat. Anyway, that's all. I don't know why I think Vlogmas is so hard. I just made a vlog. I will probably talk to you tomorrow. Judging how I look in the camera, yeah, I look really tired. This lighting's no good, blah, blah, blah. All right, good. Covered all the self-deprecating bases. See you tomorrow. Bye.